And what did you decide to study in the end? What did your associate degree?
In business studies.
In business studies. Okay.
Yes.
So you didn't bother with the law.
I did 20 courses over that 2 years.
Wow.
So I basically touched on everything, all including business law.
Excellent. So where did your support come from then? Because you mentioned earlier about, your fairs. You shared some of your fairs. What were those? What were some of your major fairs?
My major fears was that okay, now I'm going to college. I could have always picked up I could have always gone to do probably a temporary job, and I'm saying I'm going to college. How will I provide for my kids? How will I assist them with their homework? And then I had a daughter also who was set to do CPEA. You understand? So I'm thinking my son is now in I think he was in preschool going on to kindergarten, and they're very dependent on me. They are very close to me.
Right.
I think I'm the only person that they open up to.
Okay.
There's no other person that understands my kids the way that
you
I
do. Of course. That's a mother's bond, isn't it?
Yes, they each have unique personalities.
Yes.
That could be confusing at times.
Yes.
And I know
mommy knows best for each and every one of them.
Every cry, I know what it means.
Yes.
And I wanted my kids in one place. I wanted to be there for them because I wanted to
do in the end then to balance that out.
Well, to balance that out, it started out very rocky. Going the first week in college, they have 2 uniforms, an official uniform and the jeans and the college polo. And I know sometimes on mornings I will have to wake up because I was living at where was I living? I was living at Brighton at that time.
Okay.
And I would have to pass the college gap to come into town to drop them to their respective schools. Well, my big daughter, she was able to fend for herself. Okay. But then I would have to go all the way down to Catholic school, that's down in town, the Roman Catholic school.
Yeah.
Walk up back to town to catch a van to get
back out to college.
Or sometimes to get back out. And then at lunchtime, I am from the countryside, so there was little or no support in this urban area.
Right.
Lunchtime, I will have to hustle back home to get their lunch to take back to the school. Or sometimes, if I know I have a class at lunch, I will have to call the teachers to assist me, or call a friend,
and that's a financial cost as well with the van system, isn't it?
Yes, and sometimes the waiting, and we don't have a transportation system in place where you know what time a van arrives. So it was a financial strain also, and sometimes my kids were disappointed in me not showing up because the other 3 couldn't understand why mommy couldn't make it to school at lunchtime.
Right. But your big daughter knew.
She understood.
Yeah.
And on evenings, I will ask her to go down to the school to walk them up to the bus stop to catch a van to go home. And sometimes I have a class like from 3 to 4, so I will get out after 4, and then sometimes I have group projects, and I will still make the sacrifice of staying back for the group project because I know how important it was.
It is, yes.
It's teamwork is very important in college.
Yes. So you found yourself a lot having to choose between your family and school?
Yes, I found a lot, but days I will just pray and ask God to see me through this. And days I didn't want to go back to college because in the first 2 months of college, the first 2 weeks, all I ever heard on the street is, wait, bigger man like you doing in college, in 40 commas in that in that language.
Yes.
And I never showed them that I was hurt, but I was hurt internally.
You would be, yes.
And sometimes it was said, like, if I catch a van and people who know me, like they see me coming in the van in my college polo, they will look at me, wait, is college you really going back? And you don't have kids? And I'm thinking, okay, it is not the norm, but at least why are you not congratulating me?
Exactly, the support.
To say that to myself, why not supporting me to say that I make, because sometimes people see on the road and they say, oh, she not looking for a job, or they want to associate the names with all kind of negative things because they don't know how we survive and they don't know how we make it. But here I am, somebody trying to make a step forward in life,
Yeah.
and it's still getting that criticism. And
Well, it only goes to
sometimes,
show that, like your daughter would have said, it's for you to decide if you're going to listen to the negative comments or actually hold on to the ones that are propelling you forward to complete, what you're setting out to do. Because in life, you're always going to get negative comments and positive ones. So you have to sort of choose. You can't avoid it.
yes,
And it
and
looks you've
sometimes,
done exactly that.
hello?
Yeah.
Sometimes what I used to do, they call it has a logo to your left side of the short. I used to put my back strap
To
over
cover it.
so that people will stop asking me which college I am going to, because it's one college and it has 4 divisions. So I was
Oh,
actually going to the division of science, art, and general studies, where
okay.
they also Cape and associate programs. And I realized a lot of people don't know that there are 2
That,
programs available at the college, and it's one college and 4 division. They have the teaching division, nursing, and the technical division. And sometimes when people ask me, oh, you going to teachers college? I said, okay, yes, I'm going to teachers college.
just
Brush
to
it
let
off,
the story end there.
because teachers college is really for adults or
Yes, yes,
but
it's easier
if
for
you ever
you.
see that campus at Villa for an adult like me with so
Yes,
much kids, I think sometimes people don't know your age. Yes, I'm looking young, but the point I think that they associate me with is having kids
kids.
that big, and
Yes,
I'm going to college. And people sometimes I don't think they really, some of them meant to pass it off in a bad way, but it's how it was said and who it
yes,
was in front of.
yes.
And in this world, not everybody gonna like you. People gonna hate you for a reason or another. And I know people said negative things about me. And one thing I did when I went to college, I said, I want to surround myself with positive people. I asked God to direct that path. And I think that have been answered, because once I get in there, I was behind. And I went to
Because you said
college
you started a month later.
a month and 2 weeks later. And once I went in there, I was introduced to the lectures. I didn't make my situation known. I didn't want to be
A victim
uh,
or
I don't want anybody to sorry for me and say,
yes,
oh, I have to help her because she has kids. I just want to be equal,
yes, and
equally
work
treated,
honestly. Yes,
and work honestly,
that's right.
because as the Prime Minister had told me, Miss Richardson, you have the potential. Probably I didn't see it in me. You understand?
Sometimes it takes somebody else to point it out,
To feel
isn't it? Yeah.
like, yes, and sitting in those theaters, those lecture theaters, I realized a lot of my colleagues didn't write notes. And I started jotting down what the lecturers were saying. I will read the slides and I will make my own notes, and I try to do a lot of practice questions, and I seek clarity. I guess sometimes my colleagues used to wonder, why am I asking so much questions? But I think it worked out better in the end.
That's right.
And sitting at college in the first semester, I was saying I will have to compete with all these secondary school children with
Yeah.
their
With
11
fresh
and 12,
brains.
fresh
Yes.
grade, 11 and
Yes.
12 subjects. But
Yes.
I don't know if it's safe to say this, but I found that they were actually competing with me
Right.
instead of academics, instead of me competing with them.
Yes.
Because I thought I would have to be looking for them to help me in certain things. I did,
Yes.
but they were actually coming to me, and I was like, what did they see in me?
Yeah.
You know, what did they see
And
in me? And
there you go, right away, you've added value to the whole classroom just like that, which is going to help to build
exactly.
confidence, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Yes,
brilliant.
I did. Yes, and what I did, I tried to see where I could be an asset
That's right.
because I
Excellent.
realized the college wasn't what it seemed.
Right. So you are no
It
longer feeling out of place at this point.
not it took some time for me to overcome that because I know there were students who knew my daughter who will like probably whisper to their
Yeah.
classmates, oh, you know, she have children, and as I repeatedly said, it's not the norm for
Yes.
adults to be
To
going back
return to
to
college.
college.
Yes.
So I excuse them, I smile sometimes, but days I will just sit in the library and I cried. But no, I know my friend. I developed a very close friendship with a young lady, Zoe. Being on campus, it was always a walk in the park. Days I will turn up to class very emotional. I will cry. People will see me crying, but I guess they will ask what happened. I said I'm okay. But sometime knowing that I turn up for class late because somebody promised to pick up my kids and
You're
they didn't
disappointed.
show, they
Yeah.
disappointed me and
It became a bit overwhelming.
became a bit overwhelmed. And
Mm.
man, the first semester we had exams. I was really thinking of um I didn't seek out like the opportunities that comes with acing the exams. All I know, I just want to finish college
Right. You
sometime.
just want to pass and do it.
I don't think I was told like about the scholarships and all those things. But
Oh,
um, so I went in the first semester and I realized like one of my favorite subject was sociology, and that lecturer was Mr. Wendell Walters. I challenged a lot of my lecturers and they were marvelous. Intelligence and the way that I looked at things. And,
right.
sometimes I normally get the questions in the class, Miss Richardson, have you ever did these subjects before? I said no. But by reading a lot, I try to put my hands on every material. I borrow the lecturer's
Really, really
textbook.
good. It's brilliant.
And today sitting there, I ask myself, where did I find the time from? Because when I get home, I have to do all the mommy duties. I don't have a
Yes, of
maid in
course.
my home. I
Mm.
have sometimes I felt like I was bothering my daughter a lot.
This is
Uh,
your biggest daughter because she
yes,
can
but
help with the chores and her siblings.
yes, and then I went home one day. I was so sick. I took ill in school, and I got a friend to take me to a doctor, and I realized that blood my blood pressure was pretty low because it was around the semester time also. And I had the next exam, and the doctor told me, Miss Richardson, I'll have to give you some sick leave, you'll have to stay home. But in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm not going to miss any of my exam because I don't want to do any receipts. And
Right.
was placed on drip, spent like 5 hours at the clinic. And I went home, I spoke to my daughter, and my classmates called to check up on me to see how I was doing. Some of them, and they were shocked that I turned up at class the next day, and I think for that subject that I got the highest grade.
Wow, wow, that is awesome. So did you
Yes,
manage to meet like a really close friend or a best friend perhaps who you sort of
yes,
cling to at school?
yes, I met to be honest, I don't think I walked away from college. It has left me with some really good memories. I don't think I walked away from college. I graduated from college with any enemies at all. But I developed a best friend out there, and in terms of student, and her name is Ronnie LeBron.
Nice.
Thank you, Ranila, for being there for my kids. She will come to my house. We even got that close where she come and spend nights and help me. We study
Study
together.
together. Excellent.
There, where she was weak, I will help. And also, um, you know, I just could understand why she aligned herself with me because she's pretty young, but I know
Yes.
she saw something in me which I didn't see in myself. And she is a very spiritual person who
Okay.
always believe in prayer and always encourage me to give my life to Christ.
Well, from the
And
sounds of it, I was going to ask if you are a born again believer yourself.
I'm not a Christian, but I believe
Believe
in
in
God.
God. Okay. So
Yes,
he's
and
been your strength as well
he's my
throughout the
friend.
journey.
Yes, and even my sisters, some of them, the one that died in that year when I went to college, she was like the homemaker. I used to always think if she was alive and I'm going to college, I won't have to worry. She will do the laundry, she will cook, and I know she would have done that because she was that person in the community. And I used to have a lot of terrible flashbacks of my sister while going to college. I remember I'm going to college and I have to go to court. And I had maths exam and I'm there
Wow, how
explaining
disruptive. So
to
all
the
of this was
police.
going on when you just
Oh,
started.
yes. Yes, when I just started, they had the preliminary inquiry. I think it was on a Wednesday and I had maths exam. But to be honest, I didn't say anything to my lecturer because I thought I would have made it back to school on time for
Mhm.
the exam. And I went to the court and I waited and I was wondering why is it so late. But then when I told the magistrate that I have an exam and she said, "Oh, you're a college student. That is nice." And she asked me what I said, "I have an exam now." And she said, but I know she scolded the officers because I could know when they give me the summons, I told them the day that they give me that I had an exam on that day, and they told me if I don't turn up to court that I will be arrested because I'm a witness
In your
in the case.
sister's case, yeah.
And I know the magistrate, she was very, very upset about it, and she sent me out and told me
You want to do your
to
exam.
go and do my exams. I reached probably to the exam like half an hour late because it was 2 hours. I explained to my lecturer that I had a case, but I didn't ask her any extra time. I finished my exams and I got a B plus to that course
Well
also.
done. Well done.
You know,
Can I just ask you, how did you, I mean, obviously friends and persons, your peers coming from secondary school, to college. What about your lecturers and your professors? How did they see you as a mature student in class?
well, that's a very good question because guess what? Some of my lecturers were students whom I went to girls' high
Oh,
school with,
really? Oh,
and
wow.
I felt so embarrassed.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, like if we having like a discussion in class, she said, "Oh, Miss Richards, I know your face. You and I went to school at high school, right?" I said, "Yes, we finished in 2005,"
Oh,
and they didn't. They didn't treat me any different. I used to always ask myself, like, what are they thinking of me? They're probably saying she don't waste her time and now she coming to college. But no, I didn't get that from them.
very good.
I challenged them with questions, and they encourage me because they have also seen the potential and
That
what
you
I
have.
could do
Yes.
at college, and
This
they
this whole
know
journey took a lot of courage from
it
you.
took a lot of
It
courage,
really did.
trust me. And I tell you, they sometime when I left college, I will reach home like after 9 because I have to go to two PTA meetings, like for my kids. I have, and I one good thing, I have never missed a PTA meeting since I was at college for my kids. I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
You
I
are a
even I
super
went to this
mommy.
meeting.
That's what
I
you are,
I
a
went to
super
this
mommy.
meeting Because I was also sitting on the executive for my daughter's secondary school,
Okay.
and I will message to say that I am late. But I always make it. Sometimes I spend half an hour in that meeting and I go to the other meeting if there were any clashes.
Okay.
And sometimes I said, okay, I am home, thank God. Let me get them in bed and
Start
let me
studying.
do their dinner, get their clothes together, and then I will do my walks. I will try to go to bed right after, and I wake up around 2 o'clock in the morning, do my study,
Okay.
complete
Okay.
assignments,
Yeah, so you
and
get
then
some rest first and then you wake up fresh
yes,
to start
yes,
studying.
and but then sometimes I'm trying to go to bed, and my classmates will call me for help, but how could I have turned them down? I couldn't
Yeah.
do it. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of them really looked up to me, and I'm thankful for you all for giving me that respect.
Yes.
Um, there are some of them who they used to say hi and stuff, and they will message me for my notes, and sometimes I will sit to myself, but they were sitting in class too,
It didn't take
but
notes.
then in the end I always have a soft spot because I always think of somebody giving me that opportunity. Why I don't want to be I'm not a selfish person, and I always assist my classmates in whatever way they needed the help. I know since Breadfruit News carried the story, a lot of them messaged me because they never knew I went through that situation, and they apologized.
Mm.
And I said, you don't need to apologize because there were times when I have to be a lecturer.
Yeah.
lecturer. I
Yes.
know, and there were days when lecturers didn't turn up to class for one reason or another, and I always take the initiative of encouraging my classmate to use that time wisely. Like
Yes.
I will go up to the board and we will say, whatever subject you are weak in, sometimes we have a question that the lecturer should have worked, and I will go and explain it to them.
Well, look
My
at that.
yes, and one of the best memory that I've left college with is being a part of the student council at the dance. I was a member. I tried because when I looked at their mission and their vision, I wanted to be a part of something positive.
Right.
But to be honest, I
Yeah.
didn't know how they would have looked at me. I was the oldest one in that council, and they never asked me my age, but they gave me the respect.
Excellent.
And I was nominated. Fast forward, I was nominated to be president. I declined, and I was told I couldn't decline because that's who they wanted. And I did my campaign. I had my members and stuff and things like that.
Well,
And
it
in the
sounds to me
end,
that you had even more plates added on to you. Going back to
exactly,
school was
because
one thing, but then that opened up all these other extracurricular activities,
yes,
which
yes,
you were
yes,
able to manage as well.
yes, and because I kept saying to myself, God give us 24 hours in the day. If He saw that we needed more, He would have given us more. So we have to make use of that 24 hours.
That's right.
And in the end, I developed a positive attitude. I tried not to procrastinate.
Yes.
And I was voted as the student council president. Um,
This is
Myself,
amazing.
along with my team, we brought along a changes. We tried to bridge the communication gap between the admin and the student. We also brought along social events, the breakfast initiative where students could have come to school and get a breakfast free, of
Oh,
course,
wow.
done through donations from various business houses throughout the country.
Excellent.
And we hosted a Christmas party for disadvantaged children in the community of Calico. Most
Wow.
of them were selected from the Calico Anglican School. And I tell you, that was such a spectacular event.
You sound
I'm
like you have the
telling
world of memories just wrapped
you,
up in
memories, yes,
this
because
journey that
yes,
seemed daunting at the beginning, and it's just
yes,
completely transformed your life, Iesha.
yes, it transformed my life because I will sit in meetings, I will have to talk to council members, and I treated everybody with respect. Sometimes where I see they were pulling up, I will call them privately. I will say, hey, I don't think you're playing your role. Is there a problem?
Yeah.
And I'm saying because I think being a mother at college helped me to identify some persons that were probably in similar situations, because I don't know, probably God had given me an eye for that. Sometimes I was sitting in class and I saw some of my class. I overheard some of my classmates saying things about other students, and sometimes I don't know how to approach them to say don't do that. Sometimes I'll just say you don't know what situation the person. I remember. Oh yes, and I know there was a particular young lady in my class, and I saw her coming to school, and she was sit by herself, and I went up to her one day and I asked, I said, "What's the problem?" And she told me she has two kids and she has nobody to
To
help
help
her with
out.
them, and I told her that she can go to the admin and ask a letter to take to the welfare, and I directed her to other organizations where
Because you
she
would have gone through a similar process,
gone through
get
similar
support with
process.
yours. Okay.
And also students probably who have lost parents or whose mother parents was working, I
They can
advise
get
them to go to
support.
that same channel also.
So just for the benefit of the viewers, what channels should persons go through? Is it
Well,
welfare?
I think there is a system in place at the college that some students weren't aware of.
Right,
The systems up there, once you go to the admin and you ask the student support person
right.
and explain your situation to them. I guess sometimes students are afraid to
Let others
divulge this
in. Yes,
information,
yes.
and
It
you
can be
have to,
private and
yes,
similar
but
to you, they wouldn't want it to get out and then it's being used
no.
against them in any
Because
way.
sometimes I didn't want people to know how many kids I had.
Right. And
All I
that, you know,
wanted
as
to,
a mom myself, I mean, I've got 3 kids, and I would never want to be in a position where I have to deny any of my kids. So it's quite
yeah,
harsh that you would even think about doing that because of feeling victimized or, looked down upon for pursuing
yeah,
your education, which is something that we should be pushing, and encouraging each other to do.
yes, because I know some, but in the end, I couldn't escape that because there are days when they're sick, and when your kids are sick or with a cold, you can't take them, you can't send them to school, and then I
No.
don't want to school. So I will
And
take
they
them to
cling on
class
to you
with
even
me.
more
They
when
cling
they're
on to me.
poorly.
Yes,
Yes.
and I took them to class with me, and then the security at the college, the security guards at the college, they were very helpful sometimes in assisting me to hold my 5 year, now 6 year old son. And then my daughter, sometimes she has asthma, so she will come and she'll sit outside because I don't want to leave her home alone.
So they went to school with
The
you
school
and
with,
just sit
yes,
outside the gate
they sit outside, no, not outside the gate, on campus. They will sit
on,
on the steps something, because the way how the classrooms are situated, you could actually see them sometimes.
okay.
Or if there are seats in the thing, I would ask sometimes the lecturers who, like, they knew about it after, they will ask, why didn't you bring her in? Why didn't you
Oh,
bring him
wow.
in?
So they're quite
And
accommodating.
yes, and I remember having communication studies exam, and a close relative of mine was supposed to pick up my son because he had vomiting the night before, and I had communication mid-semester exam, and I was at the college gate waiting. Apparently, the person came and didn't see me because I was in a van, and they didn't have the patient to wait. So I had to take my son inside with me, and I went in, I spoke to the lecturer, and he said, sure, bring him in. And I know in the we were doing the exam, and tears was just falling on my paper. I couldn't remember anything I studied. The paper was a hard paper, but all I wanted, I wanted to know why I was going through that.
Yeah, just
And
emotions.
emotions, and I remember the lecturer saying, we were doing the exam, and Mr. John, he looked up. I know my head was on the paper, and I heard him saying, I hope you all see what some persons have to go through. And
As
the
in to say,
sacrifice
study
it
your
took.
book,
Yes,
otherwise you're gonna be.
yes, and it was like, I hope you all see the struggles parents have to go through. Use this opportunity wisely.
Yes,
Because look, Miss Richardson is here doing her exam, and she has her
the
son. So
kids with her. Yeah.
there is no excuse.
This is truly a lesson, for young people who may not have yet started parenthood and might be taking their education for granted. They don't have to juggle as many plates as you do. And still sometimes they don't want to buckle down and, put the effort in to do enough. Sometimes they just do, the bare minimum. But here you are, having gone through life after school and realizing that, you know what, I need more in order to get more to look after my family. So what advice, added to that, would you give to young people having gone through your situation?
Well, mostly for young people, I will say if you can wait on parenthood, it's a blessing. But
It is indeed.
if you can get that education first,
Yes.
things happen. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I won't want to say um do like me. I will want to say take the road besides me
Okay.
and go even further than I have gone
Okay.
and grab every opportunity you can get because juggling school as a mom and as a student, it was never a walk in the park because they have a lot of commitments and it's never easy because summarizing this, right, I remember my daughter sitting CPEA and I having my exam at the same time. I didn't get to study the way I should have because night will sit at the table and fall asleep trying to give her some practice
Right.
questions
So you're helping to prepare
and
her for her exam
for
and then
exam.
failing to
And
do yours.
yes, I also felt guilty too
Yes.
because I know she could have done better. Yeah, she has gone to girls high
Girls High
school, my
School.
alma
Yes.
mater. And
Excellent.
yes, and I tell you, getting sick, let me sum up this part also. Getting sick, where I had to seek medical attention or overseas. There were rumors as to why I had traveled, but I never divulged any of that information because people get shamed to say what they were sick of because in the end, I said it was trigeminal neuralgia. It's a condition that affects the nerves
Okay.
where the two nerves are hitting on each other and you get minor seizures. And I've gone to the hospital numerous times and I was given a paper where I had to do a scan, but we didn't have that service available in our country because
So
the
you had to
machines were
go
down. So
abroad.
I seek help where I was able to travel abroad to diagnose what I was suffering from. I was told that I had to stop studying because it could impact more severely
Trigger
on
it or
my
something.
yes. And I prayed. I said no. I know I posted that I'm going to quit college. I called some of my classmates and I said, you know what, I'm sick. I can't continue college. I didn't exactly relate to them why.
Yes.
And that was the first time I know that there were a lot of my classmates who were cheering for me
Yes.
because there
They
was
motivated you.
not
Yes.
one of them who said, okay, we understand. He said, just come, please, just finish. It's just
Finish what
3
you
months,
started. Yes.
please. I know, and I pondered, and I said, I know there are also people who want me to fail, and I have to prove them wrong. And then
That's right.
my daughter was always talking about, oh, I want to be there for when mommy graduate on graduation day.
She
How could
sounds
I have
so proud
let
of you from the
her
beginning.
down? She was my biggest cheerleader because I
Cheerleader.
know
Yeah, I
days
see
when
that.
I put on my uniform going to college, she will want to take a picture of me to post it.
That's
And I will
really
say,
sweet.
she will do my hair and she will say, mommy, I'm looking nice or this fits you. I think you should wear
Excellent.
this. And and she used to ask me, mommy, why are you not wearing the official college but I remember being a part of the student council and I was called upon to do official duties. And I
Right.
had to wear that green uniform. Oh my God. I felt that was like my most embarrassing moment
Oh,
that day. And everybody kept telling me, you're looking so lovely in your uniform. That's on campus. But outside the
yes.
public, adults who should have encouraged. And
Yeah,
I
they
was
look
getting
down on
the
you.
nickname, Tanty, school girl, and all those stuff. And trust me, I just wanted to reach home to
Get
change
out
my
of the
uniform.
uniform.
Then eventually, some of my classmates who will plan on which day we're gonna wear our uniform.
Right.
So I guess that Zoe, you give me a lot of courage because days will plan when we're wearing the jeans, we'll dress alike.
Okay.
And that really motivated me. And reading my Bible, there were days that I couldn't pray.
Yes.
I don't know why I felt like giving up, because sometimes I don't think that God was hearing me, but I still knelt down, and all came to my face was just tears. But I read my Bible, and a verse that stood out to me was Deuteronomy chapter 31 and verse 18, where it says, "It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed." And this verse, it reminds me of God going with Israel through the wilderness, and made me think of Exodus chapter 13 and verse 21. And it says, "And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and night." So I said that image in my mind, it was reassuring, and I know it was for me, and I am going to get it.
Wonderful.
And every morning I will repeat Joshua 1 and verse 9, where the Lord says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And I always, every time I do an exam,
Repeat that.
I always repeat it. So summarizing now, to be honest, I wish society could embrace change. I
That's
don't
right.
think we're a bit hesitant, because this was the way things were before. Things were before, and the world is changing.
That's right. And you've proven that. You've proven that it is possible to have a family, to have kids, and it is possible to go back to school. And the more people take up the mantle and do the courageous thing that you've done to better their situation, their financial situation, and their family situation, I can imagine how proud your kids are to see you now
Yes.
You've completed your studies. You've
my
set a
biggest
really high
cheerleader.
standard. Yes.
Yes,
And
because
sometimes maybe that's all you need to have in your corner, your family, your kids supporting you and cheering you on. And you did it. You really did it, as
Yes,
you
I
said in your
did it.
statement.
Yes, I did it, because even on graduation day, I posted a video. I don't know how many would have seen it, where my daughter was screaming when I was walking up. And I was going where they were presenting the class, and I trust me, her voice overpowered
Everybody
everybody.
else.
And
Wonderful.
looking back, it was all worth it. And I would like to say, I don't want to be political, because I know people, for one reason or another, people might not want me to say this, but I'm saying thanks to the Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Ralph Gonsalve, and my friend, Miss Angie Williams. I think she will call to check upon me. She will ensure that I bring my results. I remember the first semester, my GPA was 3.30, and I was really aware of that being a good grade. I was like,
Yeah.
no, okay, pass everything. I got I think I got 2 A plus, a 1 A minus, and a B plus. And she was like, "You did so well." And I wanted to know why people were congratulating me, because I couldn't understand. But going through the grade points and knowing what they mean, and I was thinking to myself, I could have done better, because I had a lot of obstacles. But throughout my tenure, I didn't make them an excuse. I have never failed a subject. I have never done any research. There were colleagues, and I encouraged them, do not stay down. I've offered my help to a lot of them when they had to reset their courses.
Excellent.
And I'm thankful for the admin and the lecturers at SVGCC who saw the potential in me and who told me not to give up. And to Mrs. Labo, she was my econ lecturer, she was my business studies lecturer. She is now a very, very close friend of mine, and she also helped me to babysit when I had to travel. She came and she stayed with my daughter, and I'm telling you, those are friendships.
You've really gained a lot of really valuable friendships from this experience.
And to all, when the story, I'm also saying thanks to Breastfeed News, because I didn't even know why they contacted me. They said, oh, we saw trending article and we want to, this is not the norm and we want to, you know, put it out there more. And I was like, really, when I checked my social media, I realized it was blowing up. And I was like, really? Because that was the motive. The
Yes,
motive
yes.
was just to
But
show the
sometimes you don't
naysayers.
set out to do that, but because you did it with such good intent, then it can have a positive effect for others, who might be hesitant to do what you've done. And now you've proven that this is something, if I can do it, then you can do it too.
Well, you have actually said it, because if I could have showed you my inbox, it has hundreds of messages. I remember this
Wow.
news, Loop Caribbean, and somebody from the UK with a news agency has reached out to me. And because I've been sick right after graduation, I have turned down a lot of interviews,
Okay.
because people in St. Vincent here, I tell you, I wish I could have shared some of the messages with you, who have reached out to me via my social media page, to telling me that they really wanted to go back to college, but they never knew that they could have gone back to college
There
that
you
age.
go.
Or
You started something,
yes,
Iesha.
and
You
they have
started this.
asked me for guidance and for support. So I'm telling them, the portal is gonna open. If you don't have the maths and the English, there are adult education where you can go for assistance for these
You're now a
subjects.
source of
Yes,
strength.
yes, I
This is
think
awesome.
some people may not agree that the education revolution has proven to be somewhat successful. Nothing ever gives you 100% success, but there are a lot of changes, because there are now evening programs where
That's
you can
right.
go to get the prerequisite to
Yeah.
go to college. There
And
are
just
actually,
reset the
and
the
I'm
basic
yes,
subjects.
and I'm telling people, you don't have to do the full-time program like I did. You can work part-time and go in the evening. You can seek assistance from the relevant authorities to
That's
complete
right.
your studies. And please, even you have failed, you have to overcome your failure to keep moving forward to your
That's
goals. If you're
right.
sitting there and you are saying that you're a failure, you will never overcome your failure. You can never move forward. You have to. And also, it's hard sometimes telling people what you're going through. Try and ask God to direct you to that person who you can confide in, because you have to talk to someone in
Yes, you
order to
don't do
seek
it alone.
help.
You don't do it
Don't do it
alone.
alone. You do it alone, you're fighting your inner self. You
Yes,
understand? It doesn't mean, and what I also would like to say, it does education doesn't have a time on which you have to complete it, because I look at the news and I see 86-year-old person has now completed
you're very right. My dad just did his
their
PhD at
their
50.
PhD. It doesn't matter. I don't think the race is for the swift. It's not a race out
No,
there,
because
but
everybody's situation is different. Your
the one,
circumstances are
yes,
different. But
because
you can
people
still pursue your dreams, right?
pursue pursue a dream. And I think our biggest problem is here, people don't know where to go. But always remember, keep knocking on the door. One day that door will, even though you fall, you're gonna fall. I'm telling you, you're gonna fall, you're gonna get bruised, but bandage up that wound,
Yes.
brush it off,
And you,
stretch out your hand
yeah,
to the Lord. He is
yes,
always there, ready and willing to help. But it doesn't matter
right.
how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop.
That's
Do
it.
not
You to
give
the
up.
end.
And to young girls like me, well, no, I'm not young.
You are
People,
young. You are young.
people will say things about them because probably, well, I didn't drop out of school, but they drop out of school because they become pregnancy. They become pregnant.
Yeah,
I want to say pregnancy is not a death sentence.
that's right.
It's not a death sentence, but if you can abstain from sex during your probably your youthful days, like from 17 up, and you can get that opportunity, because there are a lot of opportunities available, because go out and seek it. But if you ever fall into that of getting pregnant and all, don't give up, seek help. I am here, you can reach out to me.
That's awesome.
Don't follow me as in to take the course where I have taken in terms of having 4 kids. They were never planned well, but they're indeed a blessing. But I know you can go further than where I went. And even before I finished college, lecturers were encouraging me to apply for university.
Well, that leads me on to my next question. I mean, that's amazing wisdom from you and really good advice. And I really do hope that it reaches all the right persons. But I do want to know what's next for Iesha? What's the next step now?
Well, what's next for me is that I am at a point in my life where I never thought I will be, and it's through the grace and mercy of God, because I know I'm not a Christian, but here He is bestowing His blessing on me and my kids who are also A+ students, and in the last semester, lecturers will come up to me and ask me, well, by now they will have known the story. They have become a family with me because I'm the president of the student council. I always challenge the admin on certain issues, and I always have the support of the student body. So by now they will have become familiar with me and who I am, and they would have encouraged me, why don't you go to teachers college after? I was like, teachers college? I said, no, I'm going to work. And I know my final when I got my final grade this semester, I took it to somebody, and they told me, oh my God, this is marvelous. You know what? And then I went to the Prime Minister, and then I said, I'm finished. He said, you have made me proud.
Wow.
And he looked at me. So now I'm looking to see, okay, probably going to tell me apply somewhere and try to see if I get you.
Yeah.
He looked me dead in the eye, and I know he said to me, Miss Richardson, my daughter, I am proud of you, but guess what? You have done well, but this is only an entry level position. You won't get much money with this.
To go higher again now.
Like, wait, is he really taking me for granted? And and then after he explained to me, and I know the different levels, and I'm thinking back to what my lecturers were encouraging me to do even before I knew I was going to. Well, I knew I was going to graduate, but because of COVID, it was a show on which course we were going to take. So my lecturer now, close friend, Miss Juna Labor, I know she assisted me with going through the programs. She went online and she sent me the link. She said, I don't want to tell you what to do. You have to know what you're interested in, what career path you want to take.
Yeah.
And I took 2 weeks, and I sat down and I went through the programs that are being offered at UWI. I was looking at the program where you had to travel. And then, in everything that I did, I have to think about my kids.
Yes, of
course. What am I going
course.
to leave them with? I don't trust a lot of people around my kids because of what is happening in society and the family that I grew up in, and to see the hurt that was meted out to my sister,
right.
I mentioned to somebody in authority that, I'm going to apply to KVU because I have family there who have vowed to help me with my daughters, but they still that I must bring along my daughters. And, I started to seek information on how I could take them, but there were my 2 sons who are very close to me. Jake one, he doesn't talk much to anybody. He will come to me when he wants help. He knows mommy is there.
Right.
Mommy knows his weakness. So I'm saying, who is going to help Jake one?
Right. If you leave with just your 2 daughters.
I'm thankful for those that I have one other close person who will encourage me. He assists me with my kids a lot. Pick them up from school, mate. If I have late class, he has them and those stuff. And also other people have been of tremendous assistance to me in one way or another, who will encourage me to apply to UWI. I was even thinking of Taiwan, but here I am again thinking of my kids.
Yes.
And I came across a program, banking and finance. And I'm a finance boss. I grew up in a house where my mother's small business. She's selling sugar cakes and granuts, sent
Oh,
to school. So I was always that hustler.
okay.
I even at college I used to carry small items in the end to sell
To
little
sell.
chocolates and stuff.
Yes.
And man, two courses stood out to me at college was econ and all the courses in financial management, financial accounting, cost and management accounting,
Yeah,
and I got
towards finance.
all A plus for
Okay.
those courses. And I'm saying I like it. It's what I'm thinking about finance, being a financial advisor, financial
Okay.
analyst, and I also think about a career path that's gonna be demanding.
Right.
That's not
That's
gonna
in
be
need. Yes.
that because I'm saying I don't have to work in my country, but I want to be an asset to my country.
Good.
You
Yeah.
understand? I'm thinking banking and finance, I looked at it and what it entails, and right there it hit the hammer hit on the nail. And
You settled
I
on that one.
call up my friend and I said, you know what, I'm gonna apply for this. But applying, do I have any money to finish that course? No, I don't. I pray to God. I don't have a scholarship, but I applied for UE, and on July the 9th, I got an acceptance letter say you have been awarded
Excellent.
a place at the UE
Congratulations. That's super.
to do a BSc in banking and finance and such and such. And I couldn't believe I jumped for joy. I told my daughter, like, sometimes, yes, she is my daughter, but at times I feel like we are sisters. Not in a
Yes.
disrespectful way, because I can
Yes. Yes.
relate to her,
I understand the
in that way.
closeness.
But when it times to be mommy, mommy can be very
Yes.
forceful, you know. And she was like, she said, Mommy, so you going to leave us? That's all they asked me. I said, no, I'm doing it
Uh-huh.
online first, and then I will see. I probably might just go for the last year to see the experience, because by now you all will be able to stand on your feet
Yes,
and
they'll be a bit older.
be be be, um be guided. And I know most of them say, well, if you're going away, I am going with you. And, pass it off.
It's
And
great. You've got
today
an
I have
awesome relationship with your
yes,
kids. I really love that.
yes, and today I'm sitting here. I just completed an assignment before this interview to be submitted.
Okay.
And even when I graduated on that day, I had a little assignment. So I actually began UE before I even graduated from the
Oh, wow.
SWCC. And it's a blessing, because still I don't know how I'm going to finish the course, but I
You're
know that
doing
with
it. This
God's
is it.
grace,
Yeah.
I will
One
get
day at
through.
a time.
I got a little assistance for the first year to the
Okay.
government, and
Brilliant.
I'm thankful. I have probably 2 more years to go, and I know that I am asking God. I don't know what is in store for me, but I'm trusting the pathways,
Yep.
and
Provision
I
will be
really
made.
just want to say to all the persons who whisper bad things about me because they said certain things and they didn't approach me to seek clarity. They probably recruited others to hate me or to say negative things about me. Thank you. Because of you, I pushed on and I persevere. And you can also do the same, because what I realized, people who try to tear others down, they're actually probably in the same position or lower than you. And I'm saying there are a lot of opportunities out there. Take it up. Go forth with it and ask God to direct your path.
That's right. Oh, Aisha, you are fantastic and such a role model to other moms who might be hesitant, to pursue further educational studies just to advance themselves, or like you be in a better position, work-wise to earn more money. And even now, having gone through that journey, you're still pushing the boundaries, and it's just amazing. Such a
I don't have
brilliant.
a job as yet, so I'm here. What's
Don't you
God
worry, I'm sure one is on the way. Just
Yes,
keep trusting.
I believe that day surely gonna come and
Yes,
nothing can prevent it.
you've done your bit. You've done your bit. You've furthered your studies. You're making yourself more marketable. And I believe, persons would have seen your story more and more and hearing, how well you've done and all, even the extra stuff that you managed to get involved in college just shows,
Yeah.
the character, and the potential that everybody is seeing in you. You are amazing and you're a super mom. Keep going. Don't stop. And thank you so much for, taking, you're so busy, but you took
Yes,
time out to share your story, with us, and we're ever so grateful for that. And I do pray and hope that your story reaches all the right persons, that they too can be influenced, and motivated to do what you've done. Thank you so much. Okay.
thank you, Shanta. Have a
Thanks a
good
lot for your
day.
time. Yes, you take care of yourself.
Bye.
Well, folks, this has been our first episode of Community Matters with Iesha Richardson. I do hope you enjoyed the program, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.